Here's my audience.
Frosty.
Did you not speak Rossi?
Is he like trying to be cool? He's
He is cool.
drunk.
A famous coach by the name of Larry Brown once said, "There's no better place to coach, there's no better place to go to school, and there's no better place to play." If many of you don't know this quote, Larry Brown is talking about the University of Kansas's basketball program.
Wow.
The 1987-1988 University of Kansas's men's basketball team was one of the most prevalent teams in KU history. But it was before our time. I'm here to inform you all about this great basketball team. This KU basketball season was a very and relatively successful one because of the key players, including this one.
Doug
The
McDermott.
coach, the roller coaster of the season. Without a doubt, the most talented player of the 1987 to 1988 men's basketball team was the 6'10" center, Danny Manning. Danny Manning was born in 1966 in Hattiesburg, Mississippi, to his father, Ed Manning, who was a former NBA basketball player. The Manning family moved to Lawrence in 1983, Manning's senior year of high school, when Coach Larry Brown hired Danny Manning's father as the head coach. Danny committed to KU his senior year of high school and started his freshman year. In the 1985 season, during that season, Manning broke the freshman scoring record. According to the hoopzone.net, Bill Self said, "I had a first-hand opportunity to play against Manning. Then I had the opportunity to towel him off and fetch water for him as a graduate assistant the following year. Manning led the Jayhawks to the Final Four his sophomore year and made first-team All-American his junior year. Manning and the Jayhawks wouldn't have been able to be as successful in their careers if it wasn't for their head coach, Larry Brown. Larry Brown was the captain of the University of North Carolina's basketball team his senior year and had a successful ABA career after that. After retiring in 1972, he became the first head coach of the Carolina Cougars in 1973. Brown bounced around from the ABA to the NCAA to the NBA for 10 years before he landed at KU in 1983 as a head coach. Brown had a successful first 4 years at KU, going to all 4 of the NCAA tournaments and reaching one Final Four. Going into the 1988-88 season, the Jayhawks had high hopes of returning 10 starters and being named preseason number 1 in many of the polls. However, the team lost 2 key players in the Archie Marshall and Marvin Branch during the beginning part of the season. According to KU history, the team was just 12-8 through their first 20 games, starting 0-3 in the Big 8 Conference and snapping their 55-game home winning streak. But the team was able to turn things around in the Big 12, finishing 20-10 with an 8-5 record in the Big 8. Good enough for third place. Manning and the Jayhawks looked to turn things around in the Big 8 tournament, but after beating Oklahoma State in the opening rounds, they lost to Kansas State. The team was given a 6th seed in the tournament and faced Xavier in the opening rounds. After beating Xavier, the team defeated Murray State in the second rounds and beat Vanderbilt in the Sweet 16. KU then played K-State in the Elite 8, who had just previously beaten the Jayhawks in their Big 8 tournament. Although the Wildcats led by 2 points at halftime, Kansas was able to storm back in the second half to earn a 71-58 victory and go on to the Final Four. The Jayhawks met a familiar face in Duke, who had beaten the Jayhawks by 74-70 in OT during the regular season. Kansas dominated the first half, taking an 11-point lead into half. Duke cut the lead to 3, but Kansas remained calm and pulled out a 66-59 point win. In the championship game, the Jayhawks met Big 8 foe in the number 1 seeded Oklahoma. And this is actually a ticket of the 1988 championship game that my father has passed on down to me. Before the game, Brown pulled the team aside and told them not to run not to run Oklahoma. As they marched onto the court, Manning told the team, according to AZ Central, forget that, let's run the show and show that we're not afraid of them. At half, the game was knocked even at 50. During the second half, Manning took over for the Jayhawks. He scored 17 of the team's 33 half points and route to an 83 to 79 point victory. In conclusion, the Jayhawks finished with a 27-11 record and became the only team in NCAA history to win the national championship with more than 10 teams. The season could not have been accomplished if it wasn't for Danny Manning. He led the Jayhawks in scoring 35 of their 38 games, averaging 24.8 points and 9 rebounds during the season, and 27.2 and 9.3 during the NCAA tournament. Coach Brown also helped coach the inferior Jayhawks to a national title. The season was also remarkable that it is dubbed as Manning and the Miracles. Thank you for listening to my speech. And here is my audience one more time.
Yo.
Sorry.
You do not imitate me, by the way.
Nah, yeah.
Fucking love you, Duncan.